Hello everyone, this is the Cankers with a slightly different video to normal, and by slightly different, I mean it's totally different, but it is still to do with Star Wars, and currently you're looking at my door and a little bit of my carpet, and here are my hands. The mystery has been solved, and you can see a bit of my arm as well if you're into that stuff. But basically, I have this. Now, apologies in advance because my camera is from about 19 BC and it's absolutely awful, and I'm using the mic on it as well, so this might turn out absolutely dreadful. But basically, if you can indeed see what's in front of us, we have some Star Wars figures, and they're Revenge of the Sith figures, so I'm guessing they're released back in '05. And I was given these by a friend as of late. He was like, "You like Star Wars, right?" And I'm like, "It's not bad." So yeah, he gave me them, and I felt like, I'd do a review because they're quite old and we'll see what they're like. I did have a few Revenge of the Sith figures actually, not these ones, but I did have a Darth Vader one, not a silver one. I had a Darth Sidious, an Anakin, an Obi-Wan, and that was pretty much it. Personally, I was more into Lego Star Wars when I was growing up, to be honest, and I might actually start getting back into that, although it might look a bit dodgy, an 18-year-old going about Toys R Us looking at Lego. But nonetheless, let's get on actually to this video. And first and foremost, right, so because these are quite old, the box is really damaged and stuff like that, so it looks like the clear plastic as well is not very clear, so it looks like it's been lying about with loads of stuff just coating it, and not the good stuff. But I wanted to show you what they're like in the box because they were put back by the friend I was talking about when he was younger, and I think they're just in really funny poses, right? So first off, Luminara Unduli is doing, I reckon she's doing the Gangnam Style dance. I think Count Dooku's taking an arrow to the knee there.
I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
The Royal Guard, well, he's just being a Royal Guard as normal really. Kit Fisto is, I don't even want to say what that is. Darth Vader looks similar, looks like he's pleasuring himself and possibly one of her. Bail Organa is doing the Michael Jackson traditional dance. C-3PO is doing a jig. I reckon Ki-Adi-Mundi is playing hide and seek, and Chancellor Palpatine, well, he's pretty much just doing something else. They all look like they're pleasuring themselves a little bit, which is weird. But yep, before we go on to the figures, this is a collector pack, and I think this is the reason why there's a silver Darth Vader, because if we all remember back to the films, Darth Vader was definitely not silver, he was pink. No, I'm joking. But on the back of the box you've just got a little bio of everyone, so this is where I get all my Star Wars lore information, of course. But that just tells you about everyone in the box, pretty standard at this point. And I'll show you the top of the box, even though I don't actually think anyone in existence has ever looked at the top or the sides of the box, or even the bottom where it just has writing. But it looks like if I can actually talk, that would be quite helpful. It looks like that's Mustafar in the background with all the lava and the fire and whatnot. So without further ado, let's get on into the box. And I think I sense a jump cut, because I'll probably take ages trying to figure out how to open this package. So we're back, and I did manage to get them out of the packaging, but it did take an absolute heck of time, and that's a weird expression that I've never said before, but it was murder, pretty much. Trying to peel back sellotape that's nearly 10 years old, it's not the most fun of experiences, but we have them in the flesh or in the plastic, and we're able to see them up close. Now, it's worth noting that Kit Fisto doesn't have his lightsaber because it wasn't in the packaging, and it must have been lost a long time ago. But let's start off with Luminara Unduli, and here she is in her nice little plastic form. And these figures weren't they weren't the biggest, which was actually not bad for little children's hands to play about, if you can imagine them having quite a bit of fun. However, they did not have fun, from what I can remember, the lightsaber blades often came apart from the hilts quite easily. Maybe when I was younger I just played with them way too much, but that was what my experience was. And also, although the articulation is not too bad in these little guys and gals, the cloth was quite restraining, especially on the Royal Guard layer. That's an absolute pain. Basically it stops the articulation and it just sort of gets in the way a little bit, but the paint job's pretty decent and you can't really go wrong with these miniature kind of figures. And yep, she's a not too bad figure. Let's just put it like that, and she can go away and get killed in the prequels. Here we have Count Dooku up next, and what I love about this figure is not only does it have the bent hilt, which is absolutely cool as anything, it also has his electricity hand, so you could go and just electrocute everybody under the sun. And if you're wondering about the points of articulation, it doesn't have any in the ankle, but there is a rotation in the knee. Also the knee goes back and forth. The leg moves as well, however that doesn't rotate mainly because the wrist rotates. You've got the wrist, that's the waist. You've got the wrist here that rotates. The hand just rotates with that, so there's no articulation in the hand. The elbow, you can move that, and the shoulders as well. The final point of articulation is the head as well. So Count Dooku, it's a pretty nice figure, looks pretty much like Christopher Lee. It's got the cape as well, so can't really go wrong with that figure as well. Now on to the Bane of My Existence, as I mentioned earlier, the Royal Guard. And although it does look like a Royal Guard, it also looks like a mess as well. Let's be perfectly honest here, because look, there's just overkill the amount of cape here. Like it's actually quite a nice figure once you look under the cape. I know that's a bit of an upskirt, if you like, but it just sort of got in the way a little bit. And it is worth noting that somewhere, yep, I've already lost it. That's how brilliant his pistol was. He did come off a pistol that fitted into his pouch there, but it just fell away so easily, and I think I've already lost it. So that's great news so far. And yeah, he comes with his big rifle that also could go around his neck with his strap. So it's not my most favourite figure, even though if you did take off the capes and stuff, it would look pretty cool. But it's just because the cloth just gets in the way and it looks sort of like a mess. But that could just be me. Next up, we've got Mr. Tentacle Man. We have Kit Fisto, and he's a nice little figure. He's got really nice detail in his tentacles actually, and I like how he sort of braided them as well. This guy had style. This was like his dreads, man. But same articulation as normal, and I'm pretty gutted that his lightsaber's not here. I might just have to steal Luminara's, but yep, he could just go about and punch folks. Like, you want to fight, you want to fight, you know you want to fight. Next up, we have pretty much the main reason why people would buy this, I suspect, because you've got a collectible Darth Vader. His cape on the back comes off. I was going to say easily, but I'm going to have to get pliers at the list rate. Yep, his cape does come off, trust me. So he's got a silver cape. It's plastic that's kind of flexible, but if you were fighting with this figure, it would pretty much get in the way. So here you have him. He's just a Darth Vader in silver for whatever reason. Not the best articulation there actually, but he's got a silver lightsaber, and that's cool, I guess. Look, he can't even move his arms that well. He's just, I don't even want to get into that, but yep, his legs move, all that fun. He actually has pretty poor articulation. His knees don't even bend. What is this? I had to write to the manufacturers, even though these figures are like 10 years old, but it's a cool thing to have on your shelf, I guess, possibly, if you wanted a silver Darth Vader for whatever reason. But yeah, let's just get on to the next figure, which is Bail Organa. I kept him in his Michael Jackson pose. Now he's got his pistol out and he means business. And yep, he's a pretty cool figure. He's got the cape, he's got the pouch, he's got the gun, he's got the funky looking goatee. Pretty much everything you'd want in a Bail Organa figure, and that's him. I don't think I should keep making figure reviews because I don't know anything to say about them apart from slight them at points. Here is a C-3PO. His leg is nearly falling off, but apart from that, he's a not bad figure. He's not got the best articulation, but let's be honest, you're not going to be making him doing lightsaber battles and stuff unless you're really mental. You can't hold a lightsaber, so that might be the end of that argument there. But yep, it looks like C-3PO. He's gold. He's very flashy in this light that we have here, and he's got even his wires in his chest, well, his upper waist, I guess, and yep, that's pretty much C-3PO. Going on to Ki-Adi-Mundi, who I've pulled his hood down a little bit so you can see his face, because before he was just hiding, and he does look like a really wise old man. But he's got his blue lightsaber, and they did have pegs on the lightsabers, which if you got just the normal hilts without the blades, or if you inevitably broke, I can't even speak, if you broke the blades, then you're able to just put the hilt in. There it is, the slot there. There's a tiny little hole there which they are able to be pegged into. So if I can take this from his hand, of course it might not be the best with an actual lightsaber, but if you had the hilt, you'd be able to push it in there. Right, this might take its time. Right, there we go. So you could have him going about with a full lightsaber hanging from his waist if you're into that. Maybe you were, I don't know. But yeah, but obviously worked better with just the hilts and no blade attached. But Ki-Adi-Mundi, he's got his robes on. These robes weren't as bad as the Royal Guard because they didn't flap about everywhere and get in the way. So, you know, the Jedis weren't as bad, which was cool. And last but not least, we have Chancellor Palpatine. Now, they are handcuffs around his neck, but I thought I'd make a pretty awesome necklace for him. And I'm not sure if it gives off that vibe, so I might just have to take that off him for right now. But what I like about this figure actually is that he's got the big sagging cloak bits under his wrist, and that's official term there, cloak bits. Add it to any dictionary worldwide. But he's got the Palpatine looking face. I remember the figure I had of Darth Sidious was you're able to swap his face in and out, so you're able to put the unlimited power face on him, and then you're able to actually attach his hands that had electricity shooting from him, so that was cool. But because he's got this plastic cloak around him, it doesn't have much articulation in the legs, so maybe that's why you get given handcuffs, because this figure would not be able to have the articulation to fight off any Jedi coming to kill him. But that's pretty much it. This was just a fun little video because I was given these guys and I thought, you know, it might be fun. Who knows, if you're still sticking around by this point, then it must have been not bad. But favourite figure, if you were to ask me, I would probably have to go with either Ki-Adi-Mundi, Kit Fisto, or Listman. This is probably my favourite, just because I absolutely love Count Dooku. He's one of my favourite Sith of all time. Imagine if this came for Darth Maul, even though he clearly wasn't in Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, I have to say Count Dooku, one of my favourite Sith. He was just awesome, and he looks the part in this set. So that's been it for this episode. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you want to see random videos like this, not maybe necessarily figure reviews, because I don't really have much to show you, but if you want to see just other stuff rather than Star Wars lore, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed it as well. And until the next video, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Vroom, 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 vroom. Yep, I'm definitely too old for this stuff. Give your kids the ultimate toy, the raving C-3PO.